Greta Thunberg is arrested in the UK under the Terrorism Act as the UK continues to descend into full-blown fascism in order to protect the genocidal state of Israel. Greta Thunberg is being accused of supporting terrorism for holding up a piece of paper that says she opposes genocide and she stands with Palestine Action. Don't you feel that much safer in the UK now that they are keeping hardened criminals like Greta Thunberg off the streets for opposing Israeli genocide? How about this vicious gangster grandma who had the audacity to oppose the Israeli state? The UK is literally arresting grandmas against genocide under the guise of protecting public safety. You know a state has completely lost the plot when they resort to criminalizing peaceful protests. What's even more messed up is that the UK government is the criminal in this scenario, not the activists they are arresting. Keir Starmer and the UK government is blatantly violating UK and international law by providing arms shipments to a state that is actively committing a genocide and bombing their neighbors. So in order to cover up their crimes, they criminalize anyone in their society who calls them out for breaking the law. The UK and many European states fully embrace fascism in order to protect their favorite genocidal colony, Israel. And you're out of your goddamn mind if you think the Zionist mob won't implement the same thing in the United States under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism. Donald Trump starts another war, this time on Christmas, as the Trump administration starts a bombing campaign in Nigeria. I can't believe that Nikki Minaj legit helped manufacture a war. We are truly jumping the shark here. The Trump administration claims they are bombing ISIS targets who persecuted Christians in Nigeria. If you think that Donald Trump gives a damn about Nigerians, Christian or otherwise, you are out of your damn mind. If Donald Trump cares so much about Christian Nigerians, why isn't he offering them safe haven into the United States the same way he offered white South Africans who he claimed was persecuted refugee status into the United States? And it's extremely weird because I thought Donald Trump destroyed ISIS. He claimed he destroyed ISIS multiple times. It's almost like he's lying.
We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS. I defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I defeated ISIS in just a matter of weeks. We defeated ISIS in record time. We had no wars. We defeated ISIS. 4 years. We had no wars. We defeated ISIS. We had no wars. I ended them all. I defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS, and we defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate.
Isn't it interesting how ISIS always appears and reappears whenever our American politicians need them to? And they never ever seem to attack Israel. Isn't that weird? I guess they can't find them on the map. Who do you guys think is actively arming ISIS fighters in Africa, by the way? The United States is the largest exporter of terrorism in the world, and it's not even close. In just 1 year, ever since Donald Trump took office, he bombed 8 different countries. While China builds, the United States bombs. We need an anti-war movement in order to stop these bloodthirsty psychopaths.
What's poppin'? Welcome back, my friends, my family. I'm back at Naked Primetime. Hope you guys had a great Christmas holiday. I took a week off to be with some family, and it was much needed. It reminded me what I was fighting for, being around all the young cousins, meeting up with people I haven't seen in years. Like, I had a great Christmas, man. Like, it was one of those get-together Christmases. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, sometimes, like, we have, like, off seasons. like we'd have a small Christmas here. But this is one of the Christmases where I saw like a lot of cousins that I haven't seen. I met one of my good childhood cousins' daughter, 1.5 years old, extremely adorable. So it was one of the things that remind me what I fight for. And I was thinking a lot about the next incoming year. And I have giant ambitions for our channel. I feel like RBN, we failed to reach and connect with and help like shift the working class in the United States in the right direction. So I've been brainstorming a lot on how to truly expand this channel over this break. And we got a lot of bangers coming up. Like I think next year is gonna be a fantastic year for us. And I'm great to be back. And you guys know, even though I took that week off, I'm still in the lab cooking. Like I'm still releasing hotspot videos. I'm still covering geopolitics, just be a different format, a different platform. And you guys know I'm always in lab cooking, and I saw Nicki Minaj. I remember seeing this a while ago, and this is why I can't stand black celebrities, and I find it weird that anyone will be involved in celebrity worship. Like I never liked Hollywood or celebrities, but the black capitalist class in particular is extremely nefarious. Can't stand these people. These people are propped up by the CIA. We know many of these celebrities are Zionist approved. These are people who tell you to vote for a Democrat, like the Diddy. You know, he's a fucking pedophile. Our entire ruling class is filled of pedophile elites. He was telling you to vote for Hillary Clinton. He was doing the vote or die campaign. We have black neoliberals like Nicki Minaj who are here to poison our community. And that's what she did. I will never understand how Nicki Minaj is even famous, for one. Propped up by the establishment. There's no other way. Like, I listen to Nicki Minaj rap, and I know I'm an old head. Like, I'm an old 90s Method Man, Outkast. Like, I was a big Tupac head. Obviously, Biggie is up there as well. Andre 3000 is probably I think Andre 3000 is probably one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Easily. Nas. I mean, like, the list can go on and on. I'm like one of those old boomers who like, man, I can never listen to new hip hop. I'm that annoying ass. I'm annoying as fuck. I'm like, I listen to like Gen Z hip hop. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you guys doing, bro? So Nicki Minaj you guys know, like, she's like one of the biggest rap artists of all time. And the fact that that's like, you can even say that, like, pack it up, man. Like, we completely jumped the shark here. So here's Nicki Minaj amplifying the message and doing propaganda on behalf of the imperialist regime.
We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world.
Except for Palestine. What about the black Christians in the United States are homeless? Do you guys know that black people make up the highest percentage of the homeless population? What is Nicki Minaj doing with her millions of dollars? Untold tens, hundreds of millions of dollars. What is Beyonce doing? Beyonce a black billionaire. Jay-Z with her husband. They're black oligarchs that can easily buy hotels up. Like, if you look at the black capitalist class, it can single-handedly fix many issues going on with the black community, but our black community have been brainwashed by individualism that is promoted by these scumbags that are propped up by the CIA and the hip hop community. That's why it's all about materialism, to brainwash the black community into buying that and to support neoliberalism and to abandon community. So, like, if you will bring that up to if you bring this up to any black capitalists, like, hey, man, why are we not investing the money that black capitalists made back into our community? Why are black capitalists exploiting black labor to the point where we're the lowest wage earners, even when we work at black businesses? Black businesses exploit black labor too. So when she says she stands for Christians anywhere, that doesn't even apply for your own community, because I know that the obvious answer I went with the easy rebuttal at first. Well, I was like, well, you don't even care about Palestinians and Palestinian Christians who are being bombed to death, let alone Christians in your own community. And now, all of a sudden, when the empire tells you to, you are concerned about Christians in Nigeria, even though more Muslims in Nigeria have been killed by ISIS groups than anyone else. Let's continue this. Nicki Minaj, the Neocon. I know some members of my family that was in shambles after this, my friends.
We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world. Amen.
Amen. I don't know if you can see this at home, but she is getting a ton of standing ovations.
So Nicki Minaj is part of the pedo capitalist class. Her brother was a pedophile. Her husband was a pedophile. Nicki Minaj defended her pedo brother and husband. No surprise, she's buddying up with the pedo-loving Republican elites. And then people in the black community would try to be shocked that they heard what happened to Diddy. I'm like, bro, the entire black capitalist elite, like all of them, are engaging in degeneracy and mass shady rapist behavior. Like, that's why I cut out. I've never been into pop culture. I was always that guy, like, I fuck hate celebrities. I never was into that shit. And this is why I could never be. This is the people you guys look up to. And this is why in a million years, you will never, ever catch me organizing based on race instead of class. I'm a proud class reductionist. I'm sorry. I said it. I am a proud, unapologetic class reductionist. Because organizing based on race instead of class implies that me and Nicki Minaj shares the same interests. It relies on an idea. This is why organizing based on race has failed. Representation failed. I wish people would just acknowledge that. The black liberal theory of having representation in order to liberate the black community is a failed strategy. That's the strategy that you guys have been implementing for decades, ever since the Civil Rights Movement, when you guys decided to abandon Marxist-Leninism, which was practiced by the Black Panther Party. Now the wealth disparity between black and white Americans is worse right now than at the height of the Civil Rights Movement. That's the result of representation. That's the result of you guys organizing based on race, even with black shit libs, black conservatives. Class all day. I'm a class reductionist. Never in a million years. Like, you even had members of the black managerial class. The black managerial class left who betrayed RBN. Do you guys remember Black Power Media? Who separated after we exposed them? Remember, like, Dr. Ball, what's his name? I forgot his name. Dr. Ball. Dr. Kamu. All these well-educated, they're very well-educated, very well-connected, professional managerial class black leftists. We were trying to build a coalition with them just to show you guys how class trumps all. We were like, hey man, there's this black YouTube channel. Let's reach out to them. We did a few collabs. We sang their praises. And what did Dr. Kamal do? What did Dr. Jared Ball? I think that's his name. Dr. Jared Ball. He went, and you guys know the story if you're a longtime RBN viewer. Yeah, Jared Ball is one of them. Because they're part of gatekeeping professional managerial class. They saw us, we was like, man, we gotta call ourselves Fred Hampton leftists. We're gonna reach out to the Panthers. We're gonna reach out to Fred Hampton. They was one of the people who started the confusion that the Hampton family had about us when we first changed our name. It was Dr. Jared Ball. And Kamal, they was like, hey man, hey, do you know that the Fred Hampton leftists are ruining your name, man? They were just lying about us. That came from the quote unquote black left, the professional managerial class, who stabbed us in the back. That's why class interest trumps all. The idea that representation is what we should be striving for. The idea that we should organize among ourselves, thinking that we all have like-minded views and beliefs. That's a level of race science that will make Nick Fuentes blush. Like, Nick Fuentes, how is that not race science? The idea that we all like some sort of we hive mind. We hive mind, we connected. Yeah, this person comes from a rich family. He don't have my class interest at all, but we should support her. Like, this is like Jasmine Crockett is like the best example of this. Like, yeah, trust me, you guys gotta look at them with caution. There was one of the lead people who smeared RBN, and that's after RBN propped them up, had them on, and tried to develop a relationship. But they are gatekeepers. They're well educated. One of the people like, what is he, a doctor? Like, they all got degrees. They all been a part of the Washington resistance establishment. Then the second they saw a young black leftist group come up, they smear us. But you guys want to organize based on race. When I've been smeared about black people more than anyone else. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think the Israelis probably got them beat. But this is, in general, why I don't support organizing based on race, but instead of class, all day, baby, all day. And this is the mindset that Nicki Minaj and these frauds want you to believe, that the United States and Israel care about Christians so much that they decided to bomb a place with a large Christian population on Christmas. And if you believe that the United States is targeting ISIS militias, because there was a few confused Negroes that was like, hey, isn't it a good thing that Trump is taking care of terrorist groups in Africa? You sweet summer child. You sweet summer child. So we have this story that confirms that they're not even going after ISIS militants, because ISIS is part of the United States imperial regime. ISIS is Israel. Whenever ISIS members get injured, they go to Tel Aviv to get medical treatment. So as America First dipshits and a bunch of confused Negroes in Africa was praising Donald Trump for this, there's this. Fear and confusion in Nigerian village hit in U.S. strike, as local says no history of ISIS in the area. So not only is Nicki Minaj and black neocons using ISIS as a way to legitimize the strike, will there ever be a follow-up by Nicki Minaj where she put out a statement like, hey man, I thought you guys were going after terrorists? Will she ever correct the record and bring up like, hey man, I wanted you to go after terrorists and you're not going after the terrorists? She's not going to do that, because you see her job is to resist the regime. I mean, to do propaganda for the regime. Her job is to do propaganda for the regime. She knows that they're not going after people killing Christians. If you believe that, you are deeply unserious. We know, and here's another receipt. Look, Sky News reported that at least one of the Nigerian communities. Oh, by the way, Nigeria is they have a massive amount of oil reserves. They're not like Venezuela. They're obviously not a Middle Eastern country, but Nigeria is packing oil. You know what I mean? And it's just another way for the West to control. The same way they prop up puppets in Africa, it's just another way for them to implement imperial control of Africa. So if you're African and you're supporting this, God bless your soul, because you need some help. Sky News reported that at least one Nigerian community hit by recent U.S. strikes has never reported any incidents of terror. So this is Sky News too, Australia. Sky News is probably one of the most shameless neocon outlets in the world. Not even close. Like, the kind of stuff they report on Palestine, Jesus Christ, it'll make you blush. Like, it's horrific. But even they're calling out the Trump administration for their absurd logic on this. Now, this is why whenever you hear the United States targeting ISIS targets, that's how you should immediately be suspicious, because ISIS is Israel. As I explained in my hotspot videos many times before, ISIS is Israel. Why does this quote-unquote radical Muslim organization never attack a Jewish state that is murdering Muslims? Can someone explain that to me? Why there were former IDF members that was caught posing as ISIS fighters? Like, they would wear like these hoods on, and then they would take the hood on, and like, you are an Israeli. That's why they make those videos with the hoods on too, because they don't want you to know that they're Israelis. And if you think I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, here's former CIA Tel Aviv station chief of Mission Truth. The United States and Israeli Mossad work hand in glove with terrorist groups like the Al Qaeda and ISIS. They manage it, fund it, and use it to topple governments and counter Iran, who we will get to here soon, because Netanyahu got his goy slave Donald Trump to agree to bomb Iran again. So let's listen to.
Now we have to go
from her herself, not just me, the crazy conspiracy theorist.
To ISIS and Al Qaeda to go back against Iran. What I loved about working with the Israelis is they're very American. We could get into shouting matches during meetings sometimes. No.
How damning is that admission? And they say this amongst themselves all the time, especially among, like, if you watch like a right-wing Zionist segment, right-wing Israeli segment, they try not to mention this on like Democrat, because that would be giving the game away too much. But right-wingers, they can say it quite far out. They're like, man, one of the reasons why we need to support Israel is because they're Americans. Yeah, no shit. This person is from New Jersey. You got New York settlers that are illegally occupying Palestine. And they're Europeans. You got Polish, people in the UK. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, he admitted that his family is in Gaza. Sorry, his family is in Israel. They have Israeli families. The leader of the UK is making decisions that in the interest of Israel, because his family are settler colonial entities in Palestine, in occupied Palestine. So here I didn't even plan to stop it here. But isn't this a crazy admission? And this is why I say that I don't think the summary that Israel controls the United States is accurate. It is one entity. This is the pet colonial project, so white people can cosplay as Middle Eastern and kiss the wall and have a way to destabilize the Middle East. And that's we're gonna get to that some more when we talk about Iran. But let's continue here.
Like we're super mad, but we're trying to really say, well, my idea is best. Well, my idea is best, kind of thing. And then would be like, hey, you want to go have lunch? And we're all fine. You know, it was just it's a really nice place to work. They're good allies of ours. We need to protect them. I do know for a fact that that we argue sometimes with them, but I also know for a fact that we're committed to helping protect them, keep their state. You mean CIA and Al Qaeda worked closely together in Iraq
and Syria, and in Syria to overthrow Assad, of course.
To overthrow Assad and stuff like that. There were times when our covert action would allow us, findings would allow us to go and actually have meetings and talk to the quote-unquote enemies to try to bring things down as CIA officers.
Everyone, most of the world, has a problem with Al Qaeda and ISIS-Daesh.
Right.
You have less of a problem
Everybody
because
does.
the CIA worked with ISIS-Daesh and Al Qaeda.
If we worked with them, we would know what they were doing better, that's for sure, and understand it. If the plan is for us to work with them, to work on a security agreement, which we have done with enemies before, and we've played that part as well as side by side with the diplomats, honestly, and whatever other countries are involved. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that was happening, and I would call it possibly hopeful.
In fact, that's why the newspapers once in the United States celebrated Qasem Soleimani as a fighter with the American troops against ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
He was, and now it's switched. Now we have to go to ISIS and Al-Qaeda to go back against Iran.
So if you're one of the people who believe that we're bombing Nigeria because we want to get rid of ISIS targets, you are delusional. And that's why we propped up ISIS fighters in Syria so they can implement a Muslim Zionist regime. You guys know Jelani in Syria is literally leaving Syrian resistance fighters to die. Not only is he leaving Syrian resistance fighters to die, he is condemning them for taking up arms against Israeli occupiers who illegally seized Syrian land. So for all the free Syrian people who thought they was free in Syria in order to help Palestine, you are one of the dumbest people that we have seen in geopolitics in years. I'm talking to Shahid Bolson directly, who I confronted about this on the show. And I mentioned it to him again. I'm like, hey, man, how's that free Syria movement that you advocated on our channel and your spokesman got mad at me because I called you out for it? How's that going? Like, I despise all these people who fell for this nonsense. Shahid Bolson, who tried to imitate Malcolm X while advocating for CIA regime change in Syria. Any leftist, any person in the Palestinian movement who advocated for that, you are a joke, and I have no respect for you if you're part of the geopolitical community, because that's the result of it. And ISIS fighters were working with Israel because they knew they can get a puppet in Jelani who was begging the United States and Israel to have normalized relations. And the United States is doing that. They was begging for normalized relations with the United States, despite the fact that the United States was stealing Syrian oil and Syrian wheat while enabling Israel occupation. And then Jelani, he was like, hey, man, come on, I thought we had an agreement. What a fucking stupid dipshit. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I'm going to read some comments because I actually want to see what people had to say about my rant. Yeah, appreciate you guys as well. This is a good question. Let me see if I can take this on. How do you deal with the particular issues Black America has when some of the people you want to ally with, based on class, don't believe is Black people's problems? This is a counterpoint that I get a lot, which is ridiculous. And I'm begging Black people who make this argument, I'm begging you guys to think. Once again, great question, Chris. I'm not lashing out at you. But whenever I say that we need an ally based on class instead of race, there's always this dumbass. There's always some person who comes and like, hey, what if they're a racist? Hey, Nick, hey, I got you that I know you never thought of. Are you saying that we should organize with white racists when you say that we should organize based on class? Motherfucker, if they're racist and they don't share our agenda, if they're not fighting for our people, they're not helping fight for us, a racist is not going to fight for us, period. If you're a white person showing up to RBM mutual aid events like many have, you're an ally. A racist white person is not going to show up to an RBM mutual aid event. Why don't people understand that? And once again, I'm not yelling at Chris. I'm actually glad he brought this question up. I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at you. I'm ranting against all the arguments I've seen. The race reductionists. Well, we can't trust the white working class because the white working class will vote against our interests. Well, the ones who will vote against our interests are our enemies, are the ones we're trying to defeat, asshole. What are you saying? That is the dumbest, most low IQ argument I ever hear whenever people say that. We can't organize based on class because of racist white people. Yes, racist white people in the United States rather vote for corrupt politicians and make sure we have privatized healthcare. And it has been confirmed that many white racists, they vote against healthcare and they rather have medical bankruptcies simply to prevent Black people from receiving healthcare. We know that's a fact. We know that one of the reasons why white people don't want free college is because they don't want black people to have free college. This has been a principled understanding of black Marxist-Leninists forever. That is why whenever we see a white boy, whenever we see Steve at our mutual aid cookout, helping us pass out food, diapers, and clothes to our community, that there is no doubt in my mind this man has good intentions, because a racist won't do that. When I see one of my white brothers and sisters attend a Medicare for All rally, which we held, I gave a speech at the Kansas City Medicare for All March. We had 5 different speakers in 5 different cities at RBN during the March for Medicare for All. And every single white boy that showed up to the Medicare for All March is an ally. Because you know why they're an ally? Because black people suffer the highest rate of medical debt. And meanwhile, here's this white boy who is volunteering his time in order to provide my family health care, in order to defeat the health insurance companies. So why would your immediate assumption, and I'm looking at every single black liberal who are race reductionists, who reject my claim of being a proud class reductionist, why will we ever question Steve, Ben, or anyone who attend a protest fighting for our family? Why would we question any white person who's on the street protesting the police state with us? I've seen countless white comrades getting their ass beat protesting Cop City, standing in solidarity with us after George Floyd was murdered. And then you got black shitless because they're op for the establishment. They here to tell you, oh, you shouldn't trust them. Oh, we shouldn't organize based on class. We need to organize based on race. Let's get someone like Eric Adams. What are you talking about? Give me one of these white communist motherfuckers every day of the week versus a Barack Obama shit lib. Not even close. So I'm not even mad at Commodore. I'm glad he brought that up. I'm not going after him. I'm just saying this as a fact because you will see this brain dead response every single time. If you're a black Marxist and you advocate working based on class instead of race. Well, what about racist white people? What about them? Fuck them. Fuck them. And it's unbelievably classist. And the reason why it infuriates me is because it's liberalism at its peak. That the liberal believe that only white people are part of the working class. So why when I say I want to organize based on class instead of race, why is the first assumption that people have is I'm talking about poor white people? Do you understand that black people work too? Do you understand that Latinos work too? When I say I want to organize based on class, I am most likely getting a black person there. I'm most likely getting a black and brown person there. Why? Because despite our labor, we had 10 times less wealth than white Americans. White Americans have over 10 times more wealth than the black community. So when I say I'm organizing based on class, I am highly favoring the black community, you dipshit, liberal dipshit, the people that speak out against organizing based on class only. Now, this logic is why I'm explaining to you guys during my time in politics, during my time as an educator, I'm leaning heavy and I am hardcore, unapologetically a class reductionist. And if anyone want to debate me on this, I promise you I will destroy any sort of race reductionist on this point. I have in Twitter spaces. I was talking to Jamal Thomas about this. He agreed with me as well. Because if you organize based on class and you take the interest of the black community first, then you're inherently working based on class. I said before, I think reparations is one of the greatest acts of Marxism, the greatest acts of income redistribution that we can possibly ask for. So let me read some more comments here. Intersection is more powerful. Very well said. Yeah, I love Jamal. I think me and Jamal started a new show. He floated the idea of having a Sunday show, a Sunday panel with me on it. That's gonna be a banger, bro. If that actually happens. I wish I could hit the thumbs up more than once. All right, fam. If you're one of the people who haven't hit thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up for my man Dixie Whistles here. I'm trying to see what I'm looking for pushback, but I think most people who follow my tanky ass channel agree with me on this. It's not like there's many liberals in the comments advocating that we should be race reductionists. Bro, you gotta realize that the Black Panthers were infiltrated. Like, feds are everywhere. You think the feds operate based on race? Like, oh, we're only gonna have white feds. Come on, Stoner, adjacent. You think they only operate on white feds? They have feds. They have plans in the Black Panthers. There's nothing they want more than arresting a black person on trumped up charges, entrap some member of a black radical organization, giving them 25 years unless they become an informant. Like, come on, let's be serious here. That's me desperately looking for someone who kind of disagree with me. And I don't know if he does. I'll just say it. Nick talks about Black Americans primarily, but somehow when he says we should work with people based on common interests and not identity politics, it calls him to question his dedication to Black. I seen it too, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. It calls him to his dedication of Black liberation. I'm telling you guys, there's not a single motherfucking soul on this planet because it's not possible. It's literally physically not possible to love Black people more than I do. Like, it's not possible. There's no one who wants to see Black people liberated more than me. That's why I'm a class reductionist, because I look at the failures of Black leadership over the last few decades, and I'm like, you guys failed to achieve Black liberation. So can we brainstorm and actually have a coherent strategy to take on the pedophile capitalist class who put our ancestors in chains? The answers of many confused Negroes is, oh, well, let's just join the capitalist class. Let's just join the capitalism. Let's embrace materialism. Let's embrace individualism. I'm actually on this topic way longer than I expected, but I think it's a very thought-provoking one. Why did time go down by so fast? Why are we 40 minutes in already? What the fuck? How the fuck are we already 40 minutes in? We only did one segment. Jesus Christ. All right, if you're on the RBN stream, make sure you check out our other platforms. I'm streaming on my personal YouTube channel, Twitch, X, Kick as well. So make sure you check us out if you're on the RBN side. I'm in the RBN stream now. It's a crab and bucket mentality. You have to look past the invisible divides you keep setting up for yourselves. We have more in common than not. It's for the birds. Absolutely. Very well said. Where's I need to go back to that Nicki Minaj. I want to show you guys. I had well, you guys heard my brother Noah from Midwestern March. He was saying, like, bro, I have way more in common than the Black working class than I have with someone like fucking any of these MAGA millionaires. Then even a Nick Fuentes, who's a millionaire. Is there an RBN chapter around Chicago yet? We do a lot of we do mutual aid programs with the Hampton family, but not official chapter. We have a chapter in Orlando. We have a chapter in Boston. I have the Kansas City chapter where I need to build on and expand upon. And then Rome has a care party, which is that's way more than a chapter. That's a whole ass party. What's poppin', Chai? Chai's the homie. What's poppin', Chai? So we got people on X watching. We got people on Kick. I forgot Rumble, but fuck Rumble. Who gives a fuck about Rumble? Free steering people, where you at? That's something they're never gonna live. I'm not letting them live it down. These people gaslight us for years, bro. Like, because whenever we explain to people, like, bro, if Assad falls, then Zionism is gonna take over Syria. Israel's gonna march through Syria. It's gonna harm the Palestinian resistance. Every time we will say that shit, you have some dipshit liberal free Palestine motherfucker be like, oh, you're just an Assad toady. What are you, a fan of Assad? But like we know all movements are infiltrated. And the Mediasan professional managerial class, the Al Jazeera professional managerial class who supported the Zionist takeover of Syria, they're here to steer the Free Palestine movement and the left into the wrong direction, and they were extremely successful at it with Syria. The amount of confusion on the issue of Syria is mind-boggling, man. This is true. I find most Black race reductionists are middle class with degrees. I promise you, Black Liberation Media I bet you they're race reductionists. Dr. Jared Ball, Kamal, I promise you they are. All these middle class, educated motherfuckers are like, oh, come on, man, we got only black people. Oh, we can only organize with black people, even though we have countless sellouts in the black community. Like, do you study? If anyone says that, if you're a race reductionist, have you studied history? Do you understand that Fred Hampton was sold out by one of his own? Do you know who Colin Powell is? Do you know what Barack Obama did to black wealth? Have you seen Jasmine Crockett and the scourge of the Black Congressional Caucus, who are diehard Zionists? What do you mean we should trust someone more based on race? That is race science, and that puts you in the same bin as Nick Fuentes. You guys realize that? If you're a race reductionist and you want people like, oh no, we need to organize based on race and class, you might as well be Nick Fuentes. Because that's what he believes. The idea that people are the same race, they think the same, they have the same interests, that is race science garbage. And if you're a Marxist, if you're a socialist, you should reject that. And it's actually crazy how many black socialists I see advocate for race reductionism. That nigga Eric Adams said he served Israel. But yeah. And who voted for Eric Adams, fam? Do you guys know that Eric Adams had a boom of support from black boomers, black Gen X, and the black wealthy class? Even when Eric Adams was falling in the polls and Zohar Mamdani destroyed him, you still had a subsections of voters. The part of Eric Adams' base was black Gen X, black liberal boomers. So if you're a race reductionist, are you telling me that we should be trying to reach out to Eric Adams voters? Come on, man. Come on, man. So you guys know I definitely got to retire this stream. So I'm probably gonna title this stream something about race versus class reductionism. I want to talk about it for a while. I never found a way to talk about it. But I think the Nicki Minaj segment, that was a great way for me to interject this rant I've been wanting to go on for quite some time. John Brown was up there with Malcolm X, MLK, Frederick Douglass, or any black American leader because, yes, I love this, because he gave his and both his sons life to abolishing slavery in America. Fam, I don't think there's anyone in history that is admired by black Twitter than John Brown. John Brown, if he was alive today, I would give him the N-word pass. That's how much I fuck with John Brown. When he said he was against slavery, he really meant it. He took these slave-owning crackers out, bro. They hated his ass. White people to this day hate him. Like, bro, they hate John Brown. You tell me if you're a race reductionist, you wouldn't want to organize with a John Brown. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, so I'm gonna get back to chats later. I love reading RBN chats. Yeah, Nick Fuentes is an actor. By the way, why do you guys think they deployed Nick Fuentes? Rhetorical question. You know why they deployed Nick Fuentes? They deployed Nick Fuentes because they were receiving reports, and they saw polls that showed the rising class consciousness among Gen Z working class, even among, or especially among, white Gen Zers. This was the rise of the Bernie Sanders campaign. There was many of these polls show that socialism is taking over. So what do? You have the establishment that push up this person who advocates organizing based on race, who tried to spread racial hatred among white people. So they don't focus on class, don't focus on none of that. Focus on organizing on race, the dominance of the white American culture. Like, to me, it was obvious. It's obvious that, and you guys feel like Charlie Kirk was doing that too. Like, Charlie Kirk was one of the people like, oh man, well, if you're white, you're going to be murdered by someone black, even though white people were more likely to kill each other. Just like with every other group. Like, crime in general, you're more likely to be a victim of crime with someone in your own family, someone that you know. Like, that's just a general fact. But always try to bring up this racial divide in order to distract from class consciousness that was rising among the American populace. And they were successful in a lot of ways to deflect class struggle to racial struggle. That's why when I see the FBA people, when I see those black liberals, I see them almost as no different than like a Nick Fuentes. You know what I mean? I want to show you guys this. This is pretty funny. So this would be like a short segment because you will know who I finally had an interaction with. If you guys see my propaganda segments, I'm gonna show you guys this because I think this was a moment I've been preparing for. I've been wanting to see for a long time. Let me get this back up. There we go. Y'all know who Gordon Chang is? Like we did so many propaganda reports on this guy. This guy who's been predicting the fall of China for 25 years. He's now a strong supporter of regime change in Venezuela now. He supports all United States war. That's what all these traitors do. So I posted this because I was making fun of United States propaganda. Like this is what they say in the West. They say that China, and you guys heard the joke before, where they were saying China is being too aggressive in the South China Sea. And I was just mocking him because you have the United States government that is pirating oil. They're stealing oil tankers going to Venezuela. They're seizing tankers that they claim are under sanctions. So they are engaging in massive piracy in the Caribbean. They're murdering innocent fishermen while at the same time running propaganda about how China is being aggressive in the South China Sea. Like, so I posted this because it's obviously hilarious. And the same with the Ukraine proxy war pushers. Like, the same people who say, oh my God, we got to stand with Ukraine because of Russia's barbaric invasion. Those are the same people who they would legitimize Israel's occupation of Gaza. Like they are so blatantly hypocritical. And as an anti-imperialist educator, it's my job to call these people out. So this is the tweet I made, mocking the Neocon for wanting us to be concerned about South China, even though we're literally militarizing the South China Sea. Look, this is the United States military bases on the South China Sea. But neocons want you to believe that China is evil and need to be confronted because of what their actions in the South China Sea. They were Japan, Sane Takaichi, all the neocons. They're pretending that, oh man, we got to ramp up our military budget because we need to counter China in the South China Sea. This is the United States military bases in the South China Sea. And they accuse China of militarizing. It is absurd, the propaganda they expect us to believe. So I had this tweet. It went pretty viral. People liked it. So I finally rage baited Gordon Chang. And I don't know how long you guys have been watching my channel, but if you've been watching my channel for a while, you see me dismantle Gordon Chang on propaganda reports over and over again. He's on Fox News. He always demonizing China, been wrong every single step of the way. And he responded to my tweet and he said, for China's propagandists, narco-terrorists are innocent fishermen. You guys see how people who are rabidly anti-China, all the think tankers who hate China, isn't it a coincidence that the people who worry about Taiwan are also the biggest Zionists in the world, are also the people who support United States regime change all over the world, are people who they're the same people who support the IMF bankrupting multiple countries in debt loan schemes as they accuse China of doing that. So I'm like, dude, I literally saw this. I couldn't believe it because I've been watching Gordon Chang for a long time. And I literally can't believe that he responds to me. I'm like, oh, let's go. Let's go. This is why people, I'm going to show Gordon Chang why people, oh, look, Jesus Christ. Look at this ratio. 866 to 40. Oh, Jesus Christ. Bro, you have to realize, I ratioed this neocon into oblivion. I'm going to show you guys my quote tweeted version. because my quote tweet got almost 2,000 likes. Well, I said, this is the guy who's been predicting the fall of China for 25 years, by the way. Imagine being this wrong about everything. You guys realize that Gordon Chang wrote this book in 2002? Actually, let me fact check myself. Gordon Chang, Fall of China. Is there where I can... It came out in 2001! The Coming Collapse of China. This book he wrote in 2001, and you want to know what these people are saying? These people are saying China is gonna fail. Socialism, it will prove that socialism cannot innovate, and we're gonna see a rise of India. I'm summing up his book in a nutshell. These neocons are saying that we're gonna have India who's gonna prosper because they embrace neoliberalism. Meanwhile, India is a shithole. China is bringing humanity into the future. And then whenever you confront these anti-China people about that, you're like, well, it's not because of socialism. It's because they're capitalists, guys. I'm like, so that's your cope. Your cope is to say that the only reason China is doing so well is because they actually practice capitalism. Okay. If China's capitalist, let's implement some Chinese capitalism then. Let's seize the banks. Let legislate and regulate landlords out of existence, where banks hold majority of lands and landlords are only allowed to have 2 properties. Can we do that? Can we nationalize our healthcare system for all the people who believe that China is capitalist in order to cope with their massive success? The same way that the Soviet Union was turned to a superpower despite Russia being pathetic, communism and socialism work everywhere it is tried. It works everywhere it is tried. So I called him out for this. Honestly, yeah, it was kind of an easy, low blow response. But guys, I've been wanting to rub this shit into Gordon Chang's face forever, bro. Look, this is Gordon Chang's track record of being right on China. In 2001, he wrote the book saying that China's economy and government will collapse. And he said, we are not far from that time. Then 10 years later, he said the mother of all crashes has begun in China. And then in 2020 and 2017, probably the most LOL quote that he ever said. I think the worst thing he ever said was in 2017. He said, China is losing manufacturing. Jesus Christ. And Fox News still invite him on, by the way. He's considered an elite political thinker. What think tank is he part of? He part of like an official think tank. China is almost gone. So I had to do a segment on this because I wanted to rub this in Gordon Chang's face forever, man. And I gave an example on why you guys see corporate media heads avoid me. There's a reason why I'm banned on corporate media. They saw what I did to Ro Khanna. They saw what I did to Robbie Suave. If you are a propagandist of the two-party system, I will eat you alive. There's a reason why they avoid me. There's a reason why they don't platform me. There's a reason why they pretend I don't exist as I'm getting tens of millions of impressions on X. It's because they know they don't want that funk. And if you cannot beat a tanky in an argument, unless you're a tanky yourself, if you debate some tanky theory, you might win. But if you're not a tanky, you're trying to explain tanky why you shouldn't be a tanky, you're going to be fucking screwed. So I'm sorry, guys. I got to show you guys my biggest W of the year coming right at the end. Because I've been wanting Gordon Chang to say this forever. Here's Gordon Chang admitting to me that he was wrong. I tell you, when this happened, I damn near shed a tear, man. I've been wanting to see this forever. I've been wanting to humble this motherfucker forever. Yes, I was wrong about the timing of the failure of China's Communist Party. Merry Christmas. So that's like the best we're going to get. that pure and utter cope. So there he is. He admitted he was wrong. So he was wrong by everything. Why don't you change your analysis then? Here's my friend Eddie Liger. I just had him on our roundtable with Midwestern Mars. He said, laugh my fucking ass off. The best Christmas gift I could have asked for was Gordon Chang finally admitting he was wrong about China. Get ready to be wrong again in another 10 years, pal. Absolutely. Like, come on, man. Like, Eddie Liger's another one. You gotta tell me that you guys don't want to organize with this based-ass white boy, Eddie Liger, who's a Marxist, who supports uncritically Palestinian resistance, to go back to that argument I was making earlier. So the last thing I said to Gordon Chang here, I said, your takes are only going to age worse with time as neoliberalism continues to ravage and hollow out the West while China continues to rise. Merry Christmas. So, you know that Gordon Chang was lectured and yelled at by someone. They're like, bro, you're not supposed to quote tweet Nick Cruz of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. Don't you know he will eat your lunch? Don't you know he will eat your lunch and embarrass you and go viral and you will help him out? That's why they have me on blacklist, even on independent media. Like, even the progressive independent media, they're part of the scheme of shutting out black Marxist voices that you don't see anywhere. You don't see Dr. Cornel West on CNN because Dr. Cornel West supports Alexei Navalny. He supports Alexei Navalny. And I bet you he's probably one of them free Syrian motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So I'm going to read some more chats after this. But look at this. I found this tweet. James Wood is a British Australian in China. Oh, yeah, what that's all. I got to plug my homie's book. Hold up, before I do this. You guys know the homie Jason Smith. Our boy Jason Smith sent us this book. This book is a banger, boy. You got to see Jason Smith. We had him on. He's like our China person. He sent us this. I told you, man, I'm going to use Jason Smith to illegally immigrate into China one day. A World Beyond Poverty. It's fantastic. They break down the IMF debt trap scheme. He goes into great detail about the amount of debts that China canceled. There's a whole chapter. I'm on this part right now talking about imperialism. I don't think you guys can see it. Imperialism, the cornerstone of underdevelopment. So, big shout out to my friend Jason Smith. It's people like Jason Smith and all the amazing comrades that we had on our channel over the years who educated me about China while I'm able to dismantle anti-China propaganda. And also because I'm not a dipshit, morally bankrupt United States leftist who feel like I'm morally obligated to repeat CIA propaganda. There's a bunch of annoying CIA leftists who feel like they have to condemn the enemies of the empire. And it annoys the shit out of me. These are the Trotskyists. Come on, man. Don't you know that China's authoritarian? China is supported by 80% plus of their population. Don't you know that Putin is authoritarian? Putin is supported by his population. Drop your imperialist mindset that you know more about the status of these countries than their own countrymen. That is uniquely American. This idea that you're going to judge China and Russia as an American, as your ass don't have health care, as we have massive amount of medical debt, millions homeless, but you want to take and spend any ounce of your time criticizing China and Russia. I reject that so much, and I reject the American mindset that there's something inherently wrong with praising Russia or China. What's wrong with admiring the success of other countries, especially countries that are supported by their people? You guys would never in a million years ever see me glaze a leader that is not massively popular. Because I'm anti-imperialist to my core. I'm not going to be a filthy, fat American judging the decisions that Chinese patriots made, that Russian patriots made, that Iranian patriots made, that our Venezuelan patriots made by supporting Nicolas Maduro? The Zora Mamdani left disgust me. I don't want to be part of them. I view them as an enemy, especially as Zora Mamdani helped spread propaganda for the United States regime. So I unapologetically, this is another reason why I'm banned on independent and corporate media. And I get it. To be honest, I get it. That you don't want this black Marxist coming on telling you guys how much better China and Russia is than the United States. To me, and I don't know if you guys feel the same, I feel like there's nothing wrong with us praising the positives of a society and wanting to emulate that in the United States. There's nothing wrong with you as an American looking at the progress that China has made, which is historic, and claiming that you're impressed with their society. For some reason, people try to shame me for that. Like, you're not gonna shame me for that. People are like, Nick is just a Putin puppet. Nick is he's just a China puppet. He never criticized China. Why the fuck should I? That's for the Chinese working class to do. So anyway, that was just a side rant. Let me read this tweet I want to share with you guys. And I promise you I might actually get to some real stories tonight. I've been gone for a week. So after not covering politics for a week on stream, you guys know I have to rant. I gotta let you guys know what's popping in my mind. So it's gonna be one of those streams. I've been gone for a week, and I got a lot to get off my chest. So let's read this tweet. A phrase is going viral in China right now: the U.S. kill line. It isn't propaganda. It's a metaphor that finally names a reality Americans have lived with for years. In gaming, a kill line is the point where defense no longer matters. Cross it and one hit ends you. Applied to the United States economy, it describes a society where millions are just one shock away from irreversible collapse. So they literally call that the United States kill line. You know how there's so many of these middle-class Americans who believe that they're not part of the working class and they look down on the homeless, ignoring the fact that they're just one medical bankruptcy for being part of the homeless themselves. They're just one layoff away for never finding a job that brought them out of poverty in the first place and their ass becoming homeless. This is why I told you guys that anti-communism uniquely rotted the minds of Americans, where not only are they against any sort of communist organizing, they look down on the working class. They look down on labor. Any labor they view to be less valuable than them, they're 100% okay with their labor being exploited. It's an anti-communism that makes our capitalism uniquely violent, because capitalism exists in many countries around the world. But some of those countries provide health care, like NHS, like every single European country. They are capitalist countries that provide health care because they don't have the same anti-communist brain rot that has been infesting our culture. So there's so many working class Americans who live paycheck to paycheck, and if they are hit with one disaster, like me, hit with one disaster, you're now hit with a kill line. And the kill line they describe is illness, job loss, a missed paycheck, or a medical bill. And just some example. This is what they said. This is what they talk about in China, which is 100% true. This is their critique of us. Below that line, the system doesn't help you recover. It accelerates your fall. You guys realize they're studying how the American working class is exploited in China like it is a science. They were looking like, bro, look at what they're doing to the Americans over here. Why are they not revolting? Don't they have guns? This isn't a theory. By late 2025, over 770,000 people are homeless. Only 30% can access temporary shelters. 40 plus million relied on food assistance, and 30 million have no health insurance. 37% of adults can't raise $400 in an emergency. But people want to talk about the successes of neoliberal capitalism. God, we're not a sanctioned country like Cuba. We're not a sanctioned country like Venezuela. My excuse, what is the excuse that capitalists have for Skid Row existing in the United States? The millions, and by the way, the homeless estimate here is a joke. It's way more than 750,000 people who are homeless. But let me continue to tweet. This is a good tweet. That's not poverty in the traditional sense. That fragility engineered into the system. The kill line matters because once you fall below it in the United States, recovery becomes structurally difficult. Lose your job, then lose your address. Lose your address, then you can't receive welfare. No address, then you can't get hired. No car, then you can't commute. Guys, I know so many people who go through this kind of stuff. No credit, then you can't rent. Bro, if you don't have credit, like the whole idea of credit is where poor people pay more than rich people for the same goods. Or they are outright denied it because they're viewed as low on the credit totem pole. How is that not 1,000 times worse than what they accuse China of doing with their social credit score? It 100% is. The social credit score, which does not exist in China. There is no social credit score, by the way. But the social credit score you guys are talking about are these credit lines. The credit score that you have. We have a capitalist system where they put a number on you. And the lower your number, the more you are able to be systemically oppressed. And people apologize for the system. You want to be a social democrat instead of tearing the system down? How is your welfare reforms supposed to fix this system? Zoran Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, all these socialists who are afraid to call themselves communists, and embrace the dictatorship of the proletariat? How is your solution supposed to solve this massive problem? This is a problem that goes way beyond Trump, goes way beyond any boogeyman that's on top of the government at the time. This is a system that must be dismantled. Americans even have a formal term for this class system they created: asset limited, income constrained employee. They call it ALICE. You're above the official poverty line, but below the real cost of living. This was me for a very long time as a working class, because I know the official poverty line is a complete joke. In the United States, you are considered out of the poverty line. This is for the people like, do you know that capitalism reduced poverty? According to this capitalist system, you're out of poverty if you are a single mother, because it changes based on how many dependents you have. If you are a single mother in the United States, according to the national poverty chart, you're out of poverty if you make $23,000 a year and you have 2 kids. I tweeted about this. Let me see if I find a tweet. I might have to remake that tweet. I made that tweet a few years ago. I have an idea. I want to show you guys this tweet I made. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. I got a lot of comments to read. You guys have been cooking in the chat. I've been seeing it. Hopefully I can find this. Oh yeah, I tweeted that a long time ago. It's gonna be very hard to find it. Oh yes, I did. Let's go. I found it. Look at this. So whenever you hear a capitalist praise about how we lifted people out of poverty in America, these are the metrics that they are using. This is why you never trust capitalist metrics. They use metrics like GDP growth, the growth of Wall Street to explain the economy as the American people are suffering. So this is the example I gave. Look at row 3. If you're in row 3, let's say you're a single mother with 2 kids. If you make over $22,000 a year, the United States government considers you out of poverty. That's insanity. I need to retweet this. When I send this out. This is, oh yeah, I definitely need to make a new version of this tweet. This is from 4 years ago. Let me read this tweet. It said, no true socialist should ever repeat the bullshit about Biden cutting. Yeah, this is when Biden, they said, you have Bernie Sanders, you have progressives, the social democrats, who was like, hey man, Biden domestic policy is pretty good. Don't you know he cut childhood poverty? That's who I'm responding to, by the way, on this kind of age tweet. And I explained, and I was directly looking at Bernie Sanders and AOC with this. No true socialist should ever repeat the bullshit about Biden cutting child poverty in half, because the poverty rate in America is a goddamn joke. We shouldn't even validate this nonsense. Capitalists think someone having a roof over their head and not starving equals out of poverty, which is 100% true. That will get to this chart. I said, like, are you guys fucking kidding me right now? And I just pretty much typed out what I just said there. Look at this. I want to see you guys. Look, in bed, 1 bedroom minimum rent is $2,000 per year. Now do you guys see how twisted and deranged the mind of the average capitalist is? You don't need any time, any money for happiness, any sort of pursuit of happiness. They think it's okay if you making just barely enough. Not even enough to survive. Get roommates. They like, get roommates. The American dream, fuck that. The Soviet Union is gone. We don't need no reason to sell an American dream. I tell you guys, the fall of the Soviet Union was a massive disaster for the working class of the world, because now they don't even have to pretend to care of having or caring about strong working class. So let's say, like, if you are a two-parent household, if you're a two-parent household with 2 kids, both of you guys work at McDonald's, which I think their minimum wage is $15 per hour. So you guys are making over $30,000 a year. They will consider you guys out of poverty. Like McDonald's parents. That's how deranged the capitalist mentality is. And that's why whenever I hear stats from politicians, whenever I hear anything from people like, oh, don't you know that we have a legislation that is projected to cut poverty in half by 2035. Shut the fuck up. You're not doing no such thing. They explain how we have a K-shaped economy. 42% of American households are above the poverty line, but it's below the real cost of living. 42%, that is crazy. This is why, like, incrementalism is not going to fix this. The working class is drowning in this country. Workers are drowning in debt. AI is continuing to take countless jobs as social spending is being gutted in order to spend more on the military. But Americans are still focused on celebrities, Netflix. The American ability to accept bad as the new normal is very depressing. So he explains we have a K-shaped economy. The richest 1% now holds more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. Yet often pay lower effective tax rates than ordinary workers. So when you understand, when you talk to someone like Gordon Chang, because I'm going to wrap the segment up here, because I got into this for a reason. Gordon Chang says that China has failed and Chinese communism will fail. That's what he said in his apology tweet. He said, I apologize. Well, he didn't apologize. He said, I admit that I got wrong about the timing of the failure of the Chinese Communist Party. Like, sir, as you're waiting for the Chinese Communist Party to fail, how is this not considered an active failure of United States American capitalism? Capitalism that worked nowhere it has been tried. Because as much people would like to say that this is a bug or a flaw of the capitalist system, nah, it's kind of working as designed, to be honest. Kind of working as designed. Anyway, let's get to some, let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, he's got to make 12K annually, but it was really tough. Even worse with apologists for capitalism, communism gets held to a standard of utopian perfection, absolutely. And it is actually a rejection of utopianism. Very, very well said. While holding capitalism to absolutely no standard. That's the average shit live for you. This economy is Ayn Rand shape. You know the libertarian who was against social spending and welfare programs until she had to take a pension? Until she received Medicare and Social Security benefits? That's what Ayn Rand is, by the way. There's literally no such thing as a principled libertarian. It doesn't exist. If you want libertarianism, you want communism. Because libertarians are really worried about the power of the capitalist class. They worry about the capitalist class and the power that they have over them. If you want to destroy the power that the capitalist class have over you and empower workers, communism is the only way forward. Yeah, yeah. This is the kind of shit they will say. Trump like, we drop poverty. You send out a $2. They'll send out small checks like, yeah, we cut poverty with this one. Capitalism is a total scam. Like, bro, at this point, I got a lot of heat for people who are still afraid to take that full-ass tanky leap. Why are you a social democrat, bro? Why are you embrace full-fledged class war? Stop with this whole nibbling around capitalism. It doesn't work. I could do a whole 3-hour show just showing all the horrific flaws and the statistics that show how capitalism not only failing, it is doomed to fail. Which is why our ruling class is ramping up a police state in order to squash dissent, in order to have, instead of actually having legislation to improve the quality of life of the working class. That's why we are engaged in never-ending war, because it's about the profits that the weapon manufacturing companies make. Because under capitalism, the government makes its policies based on the profit interests of the ruling class, which is inherently undemocratic. No matter if you have these fucking glorified popularity contests. So if you're wondering why we get into wars, even those we can't win, it's because our government is ran on anarchy, based on this idea that we must expand profit. So even if we have bad policy, so privatized healthcare is a bad policy. It leads to higher costs of the healthcare and higher mortality rates. But we implement privatized healthcare because we don't want good health outcomes. We don't want a healthcare system that works for the working class. We want a healthcare system that maximizes the profits of the capitalist system. That's how capitalism works. That's why it inherently can't be reformed. What do you mean you're reforming a system that prioritizes profit? Excuse me, that doesn't make sense. Let me get some more Chinese to get done drink. Woo! I've been ranting almost 90 minutes now. Didn't cover Trump and Iran and then Yahoo. Everyone that got their mama is. I will get to it. I'm just relaxing. I told you I got a lot of stuff in my mind. I'm taking a week off. And show Bluezer some love in the chat, bro. This is a massive super chat. Thank you, brother. Holy shit. Definitely worth going live tonight now. Definitely worth going live. So I appreciate you for helping contribute towards my labor, because the sad thing is I've spent almost 90 minutes of this stream ranting and raving. Even though I prepared this whole ass outline, I prepared this whole show that took like 2 hours. And I still got like 3 segments I didn't even touch. Actually, I wrote like 7 segments this morning. I spent like 2 hours writing a ton of segments. You gotta know I'm always in the lab cooking. And I only got to like one of them. I got like all these segments. I think let's get to the Trump Netanyahu meeting. I think comments will help with my editing, because I'm trying to learn how to edit. I suck at editing. We can't really afford an editor. I can't afford an editor. So I'm trying to learn how to do it myself. So I'm putting the chat. The chats help with editing for sure. Please do a 3-hour episode. I should never said that. Now everyone's going to be asking me to do it. Please do a 3-hour episode how much of a failed system capitalism is. Well, essentially, that's been the first 90 minutes of this stream. So I was ranting about the failures of the black capitalist class. So it's kind of that. That's kind of what you get when you tune in my show. Yeah, you're going to have to go live tomorrow too. Yeah. I got all these segments. I have to do these segments, man. I keep writing these segments and I always end up cutting them. I can't do that no more. Especially if I want to reach the next level. It's tough, man. Like YouTube, I'm glad I do well on X, bro. Cause if I wasn't doing well on X, I'd be in shambles. Cause YouTube is tough, bro. I'm trying to step my game up, but it's hard to reach the level of a Jamal Thomas and a Savvy Sav. Like they're just a giant. They're like a giant shadow, like a giant gap I cannot catch up with, and I'm trying to get there. Maybe I gotta get to some more editing. Maybe I gotta go live more, but I gotta do something to help my channel reach the next level. I gotta figure out how to reach the American working class. Now I don't understand why, despite people hurting so much by capitalism, I don't understand how people hate Zionism so much, but we're still struggling to reach people. You know what I mean? But that's a struggle with black Marxists. We dealt with that for a very long time. Please help share the stream, help spread the world. I mean, I'm trying to hit 2K. I'm trying to hit 10K. I'm struggling to hit 10K. People are like, Nick, you need to run for office. Like, nigga, can I get 10K on my YouTube account first? Like, nigga, if I can't get 10K on a YouTube account, how the fuck am I gonna run for office? Nick, you need to run for office. Nick, I can't even build a YouTube channel. You think I'm gonna beat these Zionists control ruling class? I'm not gonna steal your guys' money on that. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing pretty well considering I just started, but there's definitely another level. You guys know you guys know what I'm talking about. There's another level I need to get on. And I need to figure out how to do it. Is there any? I need to make sure we got chats going popping. Yeah, I told you I'm trying to learn how to edit. I can't afford an editor. I post my hotspot videos. My hotspot videos are shorts, but they get crushed in the algorithm. I think, Nick, you need to do a 3-hour critique of capitalism because I find we don't focus enough on real world examples of capitalist failure and ineptitude. That's why I squeezed that segment in today because I'm definitely in the next year. I'm like, bro, we gotta do more theory streams. We need to do more theory. Like I'll tell you, I've been thinking about this over the last week. Like I haven't just been taking off for no reason, man. Like it wasn't just a vacation. I've been brainstorming intensely. Like Zoya knows. Like how do I fucking reach Americans? Like how am I supposed to grow this damn channel? I'm struggling with that, and that's something I'm probably gonna do more. Like more theory. More explaining why you're struggling. So that's hopefully. I'm glad you guys enjoy that kind of content. I need to do more of that. I know I veered heavy into foreign policy over the last few years just because I'm naturally a geopolitics nerd, and I still will be doing that. But I'm also going to try and focus on more theory streams, that kind of stuff. This guy said we don't even need 3 hours. Yeah, if you're a base Marxist, I guess you don't need me to talk about capitalism for 3 hours. That'd be preaching to the choir, I guess. But you never know who's new and watching the channel. Like you guys fuck with me. Now, I love you guys. I love how you guys fuck with me. But I need to put out content to reach normies, I guess. I don't know. I've been thinking about this kind of stuff forever. I'm not a natural YouTuber. I'm more of a natural speech giver. Like you guys see my speeches. I'm much better at doing that. I'm not like I can easily make excuses talking about algorithms, but I'm one of the people that I take personal responsibility. Instead of just blaming the algorithm for why we're not blowing up like Savvy, why we're not blowing up like Jamal Thomas, instead of just blaming the algorithm, which there is plenty of blame to be had, I'm gonna take responsibility for not reaching people, and I'm gonna try and better the show. So I hope you guys have been enjoying this thus far. 90 minutes in, I'm gonna definitely cover the Trump Netanyahu meme because I have that in the title. Yep. That's my martial art mentality. Like, yeah, I can make excuses, but fuck it. Like, I need to be the best political commentator in the world. That's the standard I put for myself. Like, we know this already. I talk about this with Sabi. Black commentators, we need to be better. Like, we need to be 10 times better than white commentators. We need to be so much better to have legitimacy. And instead of just blaming the algorithm for why my channel is not growing the way I wanted it to, I'm going to just be the best fucking political commentator that you guys ever seen. That's my goal. All right, let's get to Trump and Netanyahu. They had a meeting today. Trump. I would describe them as the co-presidents. These are people who actually, like people like to say that Netanyahu, he's the real president, but they were working in tandem with each other. I think the United States and Israel is one entity. Here's Trump and Netanyahu meeting. Let's start with this video. This is him talking about Gaza. Let's play this to start off with. So how is this not treasonous behavior? We have a war criminal. Like, to me, I think this should be an impeachable offense, and I think this should be an offense that should spark a revolution in the United States. Oh shit! Did you not hear it? Damn it! So I just gave this whole speech. I just gave this whole speech talking about how I'm gonna be a better streamer, and then immediately fucked up. I'm gonna just skip that. He literally saying that Gaza is a hard place. Here's some quotes for that video. It's not in that point that you guys hear it, to be honest. He was essentially saying Gaza is a mess. He don't feel like there was anything that Israel did wrong in Gaza. He says that Gaza has been a horrific place to live in. The question that you should be asking yourself, Trump, is why Gaza is such a horrific place to be live in. And that's because of the Israeli Zionist state. Like, you guys are directly responsible for it. So as we are laying as a war criminal who met with our president a record amount of times in 1 year, there's never been a world leader that met with a president as many times as Netanyahu has met with Donald Trump in just this 1 year. Like, it's like 8-10 times Netanyahu made a trip to Mar-a-Lago. And he's doing it despite the fact that the ceasefire that they champion is fake as fuck. Not only is Israel still murdering Palestinians, they are freezing to death because Israel is blocking winter supplies and upgrades on tents. So this is what Gaza looks like right now. So Israel has a new strategy. We're going to announce a ceasefire. We're going to demand all corporate media lie about the ceasefire, pretend the ceasefire is still going on, muddy the waters, and then we're just going to continue the genocide. Because now we got people starving to death. We have people freezing to death. And Israel just slowed the amount of killing they're doing, but it's still very consistent with a plan of extermination. The plan is to exterminate them all or create a society that's so hellish to live in that they will leave. Like, this is what they're going through in Gaza. Like, these winter storms. They have these tents that are massively flooded in the middle of the winter. And this is because Israel is refusing to send winter supplies and upgraded tents because the Israeli government said if we send these supplies in, they can take the metal from the tent and Hamas can repurpose that into a ballistic missile. That is what the Israelis are telling Americans with a straight face, that we have to freeze Palestinians to death, blockade aid and anything that will help their life, because the Palestinians will repurpose anything they send into weapons. So the fact that Israel can even control the flow of goods, the flow of aid, the flow of tents and supplies and materials in Gaza is evidence that Israel is occupying Gaza. But if you bring that to a Zionist, they're like, man, what do you mean Israel's occupying Gaza? That's not true. That's why Gaza and the people of Gaza, like the people in the West Bank, they have the right to resist a colonizing state that is preventing their statehood. Look, a 2-month-old Palestinian baby was the latest infant to die as a result of extreme cold. So Israel's literally freezing babies to death, freezing children to death. Like, here's the trending tab on it. I'm going to show you guys, because the genocide is not over. That's why I despise, I know I say this all the time, fam, but I went from I think just having a critique of Zoran Mamdani to despising them. I despise the DSA left. I despise these progressives who muddy the waters of what it means to be a socialist, and these people who are organizing with Zionists. Like the DSA Zoran Mamdani left is organizing with Zionists, pretending that the genocide in Gaza is over. The genocide in Gaza is not over. But meanwhile, they're moving like it is. They appointed Jessica Tisch. They appointed Zionists to cabinet members. And we gotta have a big tent party, that includes genocidal stuff. So I went from being like, hey man, I think this is what you guys should be worried about with Zoran, to fuck Zoran Mamdani. He is doing unbelievable amount of damage to the left because he is normalizing Zionists during a time where they're openly violating ceasefire and still engaging in mass slaughter. And you notice, by the way, Zoran Mamdani hasn't said a goddamn thing about it. How is that not infuriating that he just used the Palestinian movement in order to gain power? Meanwhile, this is what he did today. This is Zoran Mamdani doing his best AOC impersonation. You guys see on the left, he's doing New York Magazine photo shoots, and at the bottom here, there is Jessica Tisch. He's doing magazine photo shoots with the person who was arresting pro-Palestinian protesters. Jessica Tisch literally helped New York police officers who was convicted and charged with violent crime get off scot-free. Like, she is one of the most corrupt public figures. Like, she spent her time protecting New York police officers from public complaint, and not even just the Zionism. And what makes this even more absurd is that she don't even have any experience as a cop. She's a police commissioner, and the Zoran Mamdani left like, oh man, we had to appoint her because who else can we find as a police commissioner? She's not even a cop. She's a daughter of a billionaire, and that's why she was appointed here. But yeah, Hassan Piker and the Zoran Mamdani left is 100% okay with working with these people as Israel is starving and freezing Palestinians to death. Since I'm going on a little rant about Zoran Mamdani, by the way, you guys know, I said it before, if you guys think that this shit with Zoran Mamdani is going to get better, you think that you guys, oh man, Zoran's going to mess up and disappoint me at first, but things only going to get better from here. Fam, if you think that, you are sorely mistaken. If you're a Zoran Mamdani fan and you're waiting for that turnaround, I'm letting you know right now, it's only going to get worse from here. There were many AOC fans that did the same thing. Like, man, AOC really fucking up. But I'm sure she's turning around. Hey, fam, Zoran Mamdani is not turning this shit around. He chose his side. Look at this. Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani holds over four Eric Adams administration officials. So he is rehiring people directly from the Eric Adams administration. This fucking Nepo baby doesn't even know how to govern. He doesn't even have a governing philosophy. So every single Zoran Mamdani supporter, just know that you voted for Eric Adams. Because what did I tell you guys? Don't look at the platform. Don't look at what they say. Look at who they hire. Who they hire will be the number one sign of what they do. Meanwhile, Zoran Mamdani is filling his cabinet with Zionists and with people from the Eric Adams campaign. And meanwhile, the people in the DSA like, all we have to do is push them left. Fuck you. Like, this is the kind of shit that black pills me on the United States left more than anything else. The fact that these people have way more influence than I do. For example, we were just talking about me and my less than 10K channel. Like, these people have way more influence than me. Like, not like we can shoo these people off. Like, oh, don't you know, Nick, this is not the real left. Don't worry, Nick. This is not the real left. Yes, it is. This is the left in the United States. RBN, my channel is less than 10,000 people. This is the mainstream left in the United States, supporting an Eric Adams style administration in Zoran Mamdani. The United States left is completely cooked. Oh, Jesus. Fuck it, I'm going to Cuba. I got some homies in China. I'm gonna try and use that to immigrate illegally. I'm beginning to think that I gotta do the Lenin strategy. Like, you guys know how Lenin had to flee Russia for a bit to help plan the revolution. I'm thinking I gotta do that, man. I think I gotta pull a Lenin and flee the West. I just want to show you guys some more examples of this. Oh my, I can't even show that. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. That was a video of another Palestinian being brutally murdered. That's why I actually have a hard time. I can't scroll through Twitter on X because it's like I'll get in trouble, man. Holy fucking shit. Do you guys see this? Early this morning, Israeli occupation forces unexpectedly opened the Gaza Valley water channel, oh Jesus Christ, which had previously been blocked with dams and water traps along the border. The sudden release caused torrents to rush into nearby areas, sweeping away the tents of displaced families. So all the footage we're seeing of tents being flooded is literally by design, and the Israeli forces wanted that to happen. I'm trying to find something. Look, this is someone else. He also saying how Israel opened the Gaza Valley, so they purposely freezing people using frozen water, knowing that they're not letting winter supplies in. Look, there's another one. I'm just trying to find some videos to show you guys. Like, man, these videos, the anger in me when I've seen this. I can't even describe the anger I felt because I'll probably get banned on my channel. Look at this. Yeah, that's a terrorist attack. That's a good point. Oh man, I like to tell myself that. I like to tell myself that Nick is worth 100 Hassan Pikers. Unfortunately, Hassan Piker reaches 100 times more people than me. Unfortunately. I said it before. This is not natural. Like, bro, I've been following this story over the last during my break, and bro, like, this unleashes a rage in me. I can't even describe it. Like, this is what they're living through. This is what Palestinian children are living. While the scumbag piece of shit Zoran Mamdani left wants to organize with Zionists. The same DSA left that wants nothing to do with RBN. The same DSA left that don't want anything to do with ACP, with Jimmy Dore, with RBN, with anyone. They are 100% okay with organizing with Zionist Democrats as this is happening. Come on, man. You gotta see it. This shit brings a fury out of me. I can't describe. Like, this is like violent anger. And they complaining about a rise of anti-Semitism. Go fuck yourself. Y'all talking about a rise of anti-Semitism? As synagogues all across the country support this? Why do people feel like they gotta do PR for Judaism? They're like, well, Zionism isn't Judaism. Who said so? The 99% of synagogues who support this? You gonna do PR for the religion doing this? That's the priority of the United States left. It's like, hey, Zionism isn't Judaism. Zionism isn't Judaism. Yes, it is. Judaism is a disgusting warlike ideology that justifies genocide. The same way that Christianity justifies slavery. And you got leftists apologizing for Judaism? Fuck Judaism. This is what Judaism did. And you know, in ISIS, Muslims took up arms against ISIS. Muslims took up arms against radical jihadist terrorism. Where are the synagogues? Where are the Jewish people taking up arms against these Zionist scumbags? Oh no. But this is how the Western media that's controlled by the Zionists. This is oh man, I really hope that wasn't AI. I really hope one of those videos. I will just look at a timeline, which is that's why I usually don't do that. I wanted to show you guys the trending tab. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I show you guys AI. I hate AI. Oh damn it! Fuck! I was just talking about being a better YouTuber. Well, there's goes that. There's goes that. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I was just showing you guys some new shit. I was trying to show you guys some trending stuff. That's why I don't go down the timeline. That's why I gotta plan every single segment. That's why I spend so much time preparing my segments. I hate relying on Twitter, man. They always show some fake ass shit. But anyway, let's get back to it. I'm very upset about that. I'm mad. Hopefully I only show like maybe one AI video. Either way, the point is that people in Gaza are starving, and I think people are making the AI videos to demonstrate what it actually looks like, what the Palestinians are going through. So, I'm glad you guys are kind of laughing on with me. But I do take this concept serious. I'm sorry, I'll show you guys that. Yeah, that one got. I'm trying to read. That's nothing else. I'm trying to read more comments. I use that comments move too fast. I used to read a lot of comments, but they start moving fast. But I'm gonna start reading more comments on my show. That's another pledge that I made to try to make my channel a little bit better. So as Israel is murdering Palestinians every single day, you have the Western media that, for the love of them, they refuse to report the fact that Israel violated the ceasefire. Look how Sky News is describing the fact that Israel is still actively murdering Palestinians. Excuse me. While still engaging in blockades, and the fact that they are freezing to death. Listen to this. Airstrikes, shootings, hypothermia, the harsh reality of life in Gaza under U.S.-backed ceasefire? You guys see how the Western media is still pretending that there's a ceasefire in place and that ceasefire is legitimate? Whoever wrote this headline, whatever editor approved this, should be fired. And I think all these journalists should be tried under the genocide court for helping enable and doing propaganda for a genocide. They charged reporters during World War II. I think they should charge these people as well. That's an insane headline. You guys see how they still pretend that the ceasefire in place? I almost want to see if there's some more. I saw an MSNBC segment today. I wonder if they posted it. I was doing some research in an MSNBC segment talking about Gaza. They was explaining how it was actually Hamas who violated the ceasefire because Hamas didn't immediately disarm. Hamas was like, I'm not disarming until you guys let aid in. You guys gotta let the aid back in. You guys gotta show that you guys are actually going to implement the ceasefire, because if you're not, we're going to need our arms in order to fight against you guys if you go against your pledge to allow aid in. So Israel didn't allow aid to come in. So Hamas like, why should we disarm then? So then MSNBC does a segment. Remember, the Democrat news outlet, the Resistance, they're like, hey, by the way, we just want to let you know that it was actually Hamas who violated the ceasefire. Because they refused to disarm even though Israel was murdering Palestinians and they were actually blockading their country right now. So the corporate media Yeah, over 1,000 violations in the ceasefire. Over 1,000 violations. They are murdering Palestinians with impunity because now after the ceasefire, no one in Western media is going to cover any of this. You have X, you have Meta, you have YouTube, who all conspired with Zionists in order to take down all footage of dead Palestinians and delete evidence of Israeli war crimes. Once again, you have Instagram going along with this, you have Meta going along with this, you have YouTube going along with this, CNN, MSNBC going along with this, you have Sky News going along with this, you have the DW in Germany going along with this, you have the BBC going along with this. But if you was to say that Jews control the media, you committed an anti-Semitic trope. That's what they want you to believe. TikTok as well. But if you bring up the fact that the Jews buy and control the media, you can't say that. You can't say that, Nick. Don't you know that's anti-Semitism? I still remember I had a banger tweet talking about how the Jews control the media, bro. There was so many leftists who got mad at me. I'm like, dude, go fuck yourself. I hate American leftists. I be telling American leftists to go fuck themselves all the time. Like, once again, I can't emphasize enough. If there is a minority, because a lot of people who was upset with me was Zionists, then there would be people on the left like, Nick, I'm disappointed in you. Nick, I'm so disappointed in you. Why are you spreading anti-Semitic tropes? Fuck you. Like, am I the only one who beyond tired? Because I know in my heart I don't despise the Jewish people. Even saying that is like not good because I'm legitimizing their bullshit. I'm so against anti-Semitism hosts. Like, but I don't want to hear it. Jews are not above criticism. Criticizing Jews is not anti-Semitic. I will argue saying mean things about Jews is not even anti-Semitic. I'm tired of people going along with this bullshit, and it is only enabling the free speech crackdown that led the UK and Germany turning into full-blown fascist states where they're arresting grandmas and accusing them of being complicit with terrorism. So the left is playing with fire, man. And I don't care how many people cancel me. I guess this is why I won't be ever invited on corporate media. But we need to start protecting these fuckers and their feelings. We need to start protecting Judaism. Judaism is worth criticizing the same way every other religion is worth criticizing. I've said this before on the channel, but I had a viral tweet dismantling the black church. This was like 2 years ago. I was like, the black church is scum because I was lashing out at them for supporting genocide Kamala Harris. And many black pastors was refusing to outright condemn the Israeli genocide. So I did this whole rant. I did a Twitter rant, and it had thousands of likes on it, on my tweet, calling out the black church for being neoliberal scum. Actually, why not find it? I can find it. Fuck it. Whenever I can find the tweet. Anyway, I'll continue my story. As I was cursing the black church, oh yeah, white liberals like, yeah, Nick, preach. I'm glad that we get to hear your voice. I'm so glad we get to hear a young black man share his opinion about the black church. We can't speak about those things. We're white liberals. They love the tweet. I'm trying to find it right now. But then the second I went from criticizing synagogues, and the second I started criticizing Judaism, people said that's off bounds. That me, someone who's an atheist, someone who's not religious, I am not allowed to criticize someone's religion because that's an anti-Semitic trope. Get the fuck out of here. This is the kind of shit that the left been going along with. That's the Zohar Mamdani left. Zohar Mamdani said he's going to spend his time cracking down on anti-Semitism across the 4 boroughs of New York. Go fuck yourself. Where the hell is my black church tweet? I can't find it. Bro, I'll send a ton of tweets of me fucking going off about black politicians. Yeah, I can't find it. That's crazy. Oh, here it is. It took forever. You guys see this tweet got 2.4 thousand likes, bro. Like, you guys see this black dipshit, this sellout. That's why once again I respect people's religion. I don't hate people because of their religion. It is, to me, it was clear that it was a tool. It was a tool to control people. But there are good religious people. I don't hate people for being religious. I'm not an edgy atheist teenager anymore. At least I used to be that edgy 2000s atheist teenager. I'm more of a live and let live kind of person. Like someone who's a good person, they're gonna be a good person despite their religion. I mean, because of their religion. Someone who's a bad person, they're gonna be a bad person because of their religion. It is what it is. But when I see you do this kind of stuff, that's when the glove come off. Like the second that you use your religion for evil, that is when your religion is no longer protected by some sort of this veil of respectability. I understand why like our Muslim and our Christian brothers and sisters don't like to go there because they wouldn't like someone to criticize their religion. I understand that that's your mentality. But as someone who is not religious and someone who living under fascism and seeing the Jewish supremacists crack down on our free speech, I'm like, no, I'm going to double down on my criticism of Judaism. The idea that we're not supposed to criticize these people, absurd. I'm not playing the video, but you got to see this. The black church will spend their time rehabilitating genocide Joe Biden. So why is it okay for me to put out this tweet criticizing the black church, but people they don't like you calling out the synagogues? You know the synagogues who help sell off Palestinian land? Like, you know that they sell off Palestinian land in synagogues, right? Synagogues in the United States, where Jewish people are then what's the word I'm looking for? Not forced, but they coerced. I don't know that's exactly what I'm looking for. They are pressured, maybe. They're not exactly what I'm looking for, but they are pressured into becoming a colonizer for the state of Israel. You have synagogues who sell off Palestinian land while promoting Israel, while fundraising for Israel. But then you have organizations that do great work. Like, I respect Jewish Voice for Peace. I respect anti-Zionist Jews. I don't have any beef with anti-Zionist Jews. They're doing great stuff. The only criticism I have, this is the criticism I have of anti-Zionist Jews, who I got a lot of respect for. Anti-Zionist Jews have this tendency to misrepresent to everyone else how much anti-Zionism is actually within the Jewish community. They pretend that there's this, it's a 50-50 debate, guys. And don't you know that there's some Jews who oppose Israel and then there's some Jews who don't? Now, fam, you are 1%. Like, if you're an anti-Zionist Jew, you have all these Jews against Zionism groups. They will hold a protest. You will see the Jewish Voice for Peace protest, and there will be a good showing, maybe a few hundred people there. You know what I mean? Like, they do, once again, they do good work. I'm not condemning them as an organization. This is just a slight criticism. So Jewish Voice for Peace, they will hold these events, they will hold campaigns, they will hold protests, and there will be a few hundred Jews. A few hundred Jews in your organization versus millions who support Zionism is a drop in the bucket, and I really wish anti-Zionist Jews would stop pretending otherwise. Once again, you are good. You're on our side. I'm not mad at you, but I really wish you guys would stop misrepresenting what Judaism is all about now. Like that, you see these people, they spend all their time defending Judaism. That Zionism isn't Judaism. Zionism isn't Judaism. Why is that your focus? And why are you focused on branding yourself? Why do you gotta be Jewish Voice for Peace? Why not just free in Palestine? Like, why? Anyway, let's see if I can see. I want to see if I can show you guys Zionism. Actually, I don't want to call anyone out. But I see people tweet this kind of stuff all the time, bro. I hate it. I'll be honest with you guys. Look, I don't want to pick on anyone. These are like random accounts. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Like, you guys see this? Maybe I'm wrong here. Let me know. Put it back on me, guys. Let me know if I'm wrong here. But I don't like this. Like, you guys see this? Zionism is not Judaism. Said you? Like, who are you versus the millions of people who practice Judaism who actually support Zionism? Anyway, I guess I'm kind of getting on. Look, this is another one. Voice of Rabbis. Once again, I like their account. They do good work. But you guys see how the number one concern of these people is to do PR for Judaism? Hey guys, we gotta let you know that Zionism isn't Judaism. Like, bro, you realize that rabbis, they quote your book. They quote your scripture in order to justify genocide, in order to justify colonization, in order to justify the treatment of non-Jews. So if you're an anti-Zionist Jew, are you saying that part of the book is wrong? Like, I don't get it. Like, in the same word when Christians, like I like Talmud, yeah, sorry, you can tell I was blanking on the name. Like the Talmud, the Talmud lays out the strategy that Israel engages in. So how can you say that Zionism and not Judaism? Zionism is directly Judaism if you read the Talmud. Like, if you read the Talmud, everything that Israel does makes sense. This is the same way that I would jab at black Christians. Like, I used to do this back in my edgy teenage atheist days. I used to be like, bro, how the fuck are you following a religion of our slave owners? No, come on, that was just a time. That was just a time period. No. You realize the Bible justifies slavery, right? So, like, based on the Bible, the Christians who were slavery didn't do anything wrong under the eyes of God. So why would you worship a God who's okay with enslaving your ancestors? These are the kind of questions I would ask Christians. So you have to see, it's not anti-Semitism. This is why I reject the whole idea that it's Jew hatred. This is the critical questions and critical thinking that I have for every religion. I still ask black people that question to this day. Hey, man, why are you worshiping a white colonizer God? Like, you guys know how many religions existed? You guys realize that there have been thousands of religions in human history? Why do you guys think that there's only 3 left in the West, major religions? There's Islam, there's Christianity, and there's Judaism. Why do they exist? They exist because all of them wiped out and engaged in genocide of populations who didn't worship their God. Like, this is why you need to study history. So it's not like your religion isn't standing the test of time simply because the merits of the ideas. The religions that exist today are the religions who exterminated everyone else. The religions who was actually peaceful. You know, there are religions that was like, I don't believe in violence. Even if you transgress on me, I would never engage in violence. Those religions got wiped the fuck out by the warlike religions, Judaism and Christianity. And you can make the argument about Islam too, but I'm not a scholar on Islam, to be clear. But I for damn sure can make that argument about Judaism and Christianity. So this is a side rant. We're about 2 hours in, so I'm going to begin to end the stream. Why do people feel the need in fighting and covering for Zionism to do PR for Judaism? I don't understand. I don't like that. I think that's weird. I think we need to stop doing that. Either way, I had this tweet up before I end the stream. I'll read some super chats now that we're 2 hours in. The reason why we are not seeing the kind of footage, the reason why I accidentally showed you guys AI when I despise that, is because Israel systemically murdered every single Palestinian journalist in Gaza. Not only did they murder journalists, they murdered their entire family too, because they would do this thing where they would wait for journalists to go home and then they will bomb the house knowing that their family's there. And it served no other military objective than other than spreading terror, so Palestinians would be less likely to share the story. Because just like me, I'm just like many of the people. Like, if I'm resisting this imperial regime, I'm doing it because I want to free my family. I'm doing it because I'm fighting for my people. So I don't care what happens to me, even if I die. As long as I do the work to liberate my people, I'm fine with that. So Israel, knowing that Palestinians have this mentality that any liberation fighter will have, they target the family. So if you want to die for your cause, are you willing to sacrifice your family for it? This is the purest example of terrorism. And it is deployed by the West more than anyone else. Where do you guys think Israel gets this strategy from? So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-hour sermon, rant stream. I'm just scratching the surface because I got like 5 segments I didn't even touch today. It's very frustrating. Why did I spend all that time prepping these segments? I end up just ranting for most of the stream. Either way, let me make sure I don't miss any super chats. I appreciate the super sticker, political homemaker. May we all do our part to advance revolutionary education alongside skill training in 2026. Big shout out to this person, Sirius Lee. Happy New Year, RB, and happy New Year, comrades. Absolutely. Like, I despise the United States left, so I'm trying to do everything I can to. I want to destroy the DSA left. Like, I want to delegitimize them. I want to destroy social democracy. I want to get rid of the CIA approved left. It's harder than I thought it would be, to be honest. Like, I thought RBN was gonna hit the scene. We're gonna educate the workers. We're gonna radicalize the masses. Then we're gonna have RBN chapters. We're gonna have massive amount of people donating to mutual aid. Oh, I was a sweet summer child. I was a sweet summer child. That's what I really thought was gonna happen. Nope. Apparently, it's gonna take a lot more work than that, man. A lot more gray hairs than that. I love you guys too. Love to all of you and our dear Nick. Happy new opportunity to build. Yeah, so help me try to build a channel so we can actually have a real left in the United States. I appreciate you gassing me up, man. Nick is a great speaker, analyst, and funny. I try to share these. Not sure why they don't catch on more. Who knows, man? I just gotta be better. That's all. I just gotta step my game up. That's all. I don't. As I said it before, as easy as it would be just to blame the algorithm for my failings, like there's got to be a reason why we're not reaching the working class in the United States. Because if you look at our audience, like a large amount of my audience is foreign, man. Like these people, they like, man, Nick is based on NATO. Nick is standing for power. I got like a ton of Arab people who follow me. I have a ton of followers in the UK. I got people who follow me from Brazil. I have a large international audience, guys. So even among the audience I still have a hard time reaching American leftists for some reason. They rather follow Hassan Piker for whatever reason. It's depressing, but I'm gonna get to work this year, and we gotta turn this shit around, man. Like, we're gonna turn RB in Kansas City to a powerhouse. We're gonna expand RB and mutual aid to a level you guys never seen before this next year. I have big goals and ambitions for next year to try to change this like fortune that the left is on. So I'm trying, man. I hope you guys see improvement every episode. That's what I'm doing. That's no more complaining about algorithms, no more of that. Let's just get better. My goal is by 2026. I want people who watch my show, even if it's still left in ticket. I want people who watch my show be like, man, Nick is the best political commentator in the world. If you are not able to call me the best political commentator, if you have someone else you view as your favorite, I failed. That's been the mentality. I want my analysis to be sharper than everyone. I want to motivate people, and that's the goal of our channel. So if I can't do that, hey, man, I got no one to blame but myself. I appreciate all you guys for watching. This is our last stream of the year. So this channel has only been operating for about 10 weeks or so. So hopefully we can have great success in next year with this channel, building class consciousness, building mutual aid societies. So even though I get mad on these streams and sometimes I get a little bit depressed, I want you guys to remember what you're fighting for, because that's why I came on live today fired up. I said it in my intro monologue that I'm fired up because this Christmas was fantastic for me and my family. I got to see a lot of people I didn't see before. I saw the next generation of the cruises, and I'm like, man, I can't allow myself to be depressed. You know, I can't allow myself to be black-pilled because I'm fighting for them. I'm fighting for my niece. I'm fighting for my little cousins. Like, man, I was damn near like to the point of tears, man. Like this Christmas, Like it was. So we gotta get in the game, man. I appreciate you guys. We can't accept defeat. Like defeat is literally not even on the table. So let's grow this movement together. Help share the message, share the channel, and do your part as well. Let's get active, get involved in your communities. I love you guys. Have a good night. Take care.